To beat Sonic Fox. Sonic Fox, however, needs to win one. So here we go. Oh, that was so loud. Talk to me. That was music to my earlobes.
Cell was the face of Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 1. From the perfect attacks to the legendary Cell yell, this character encapsulated everything hype about fighters in the early days. But then, he vanished. Cell never stopped being good, he just stopped getting picked. The deadly combination of nerfs, strong new DLC characters, and universal fuzzy used on big bodies caused him to be cast aside for more optimal character choices. While the likes of Fenritti held on to the nefarious android, the rest of the World Tour moved on. But Season 3 is a new ballgame. With new assists in play, half-price EX moves, and more characters with synergy to find, Cell could easily see a resurgence. He's a TOD machine that builds crazy meter, and he has some of the most fond memories of any former top tier. To dive into the perfect being, I've got MTS Brew, one of Brooklyn's finest players, and a day one Cell main who never gave the character up. What's up, y'all? KRCPinto here. I'm hanging out with MTS Brew. He is a Cell specialist since day one, and he's going to show us the tech today. Brew, what's up, man?
Hey Pinto, how you doing? Glad to be on the show today.
You ready to show us the goods?
Yeah, one day at a time.
Perfect. All right, let's hop right into it. All right, man. So question number one for your bubblegum Cell. What is your favorite move of his and why? It can be a normal, a special, a super, just whatever you like best.
My favorite button I would say is this 5M. This button right here. I think this button is amazing with spacing. In almost every fighting game that I play, I love to play neutral. I love a neutral based fighting game type of guy. So this button, being able to keep somebody at bay, it definitely puts everything in my favor. I could do this, and then if I want to dash, if I want to just dash up and 2L, could do almost whatever I want at that point. I feel like it's a perfect spacing move that's not too slow.
You gotta love a good kick to the shins, especially when it scales like a medium in Dragon Ball FighterZ does. What would you do? What's a good combo you would do off of that M if it connected? Show me what you're gonna do to me if I let you land that shin kick on me in a match.
So if I do 5M, it's very easy to carry you into the corner as long as Cell's rejump. So I'll do, something like this. I know it's a blue combo right now, but something along the lines of that. If I were to catch a 5M onto you, if I was in the corner myself and I actually could meterless side switch you. So for example, might drop it. Something like that, and I could do whatever from there.
50%. And look at that meter gain too. Jeez.
Yeah, it builds a ton of meter. I no Cell players, at least that I watch, does the meterless side switch like that when they're in the corner themselves. They'll mostly just opt for perfect attack, which is very understandable. I mean, practically a TOD versus the sauce. You're probably gonna take the TOD over the sauce. I was kind of I might just go for the sauce, to get people hype. But yeah, 5M into 2M into what's 6H. It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right, so let's keep rolling on the neutral train. So besides 5M, what's something that you do in neutral that you think other Cell players maybe underutilize or don't know about? What's a winning neutral tip for you? Oh.
That right there.
Okay.
So the way my team is, I have a beam and I have a Destructo disc. I know it's called energy cutter, but for the sake of today, let's just call it Destructo disc.
We're canon guys here. We know what we're talking about. It's Destructo disc. No argument.
Exactly. So with Vegeta's assist, it stops you from jumping in the air. In fact, that assist takes the same exact angle as GT Goku. The difference is, since GT Goku has a beam, that beam is active throughout the whole thing. Base Jita's Destructo disc is only active from where the disc is. So in my head, well, my logic was, if you can't really jump, and I should be able to grab you. A lot of people would just like sit back and crouch, or they'll just keep backing up. Because I guess your natural thing in a fighting game, if you're full screen, is to either jump, you're gonna back up, or you're gonna crouch, just in case somebody decides to do something.
Right.
So if you try to jump, right there, I've caught way more people than what I thought I would, just like of thinking of doing this technique. I feel some people would be like, oh, it's trash, it's not really worth it. If I'm able to catch a good amount of people with it, I feel like it's viable. In certain situations, you'll catch somebody off guard. Now, if I caught you with that full screen command grab, you're gonna think twice. You're gonna be like, okay, I can't stay on the ground like that anymore. But I don't want to jump either, because he has a beam that keeps me from jumping, and he has like this other assist that basically guarantees a hit when I get hit.
I love the that it's a pair with an assist neutral tip, because that's interesting, because there are that's something that could work for like a few different teams. There are plenty of what are there, like 3 or 4 assists now that go with that angle. Like you got GT's beam, you got Base Cheetah's disc, you got Broly B, a few things. I like that there's like a threat involved in it. Like you're basically bullying me into getting grabbed in that scenario. And the battle tactic there, it's very Cell-like, I gotta say. That's like the genius perfect offense. Because I'm not jumping against that stuff. You're 100% right. I'm getting that grab done on me 10 times out of 10 right there.
Right. And if I miss, if you're jumping and let's say you decide to super dash, but I throw the assist out, then hey, you're probably going to get hit by the assist. Depending on the timing and on where I decide to have the assist come out, I might just do the command grab, then throw the assist out just to throw you off. I might just have the assist come out, you block, and then I'll throw the command grab out there. It all comes down to messing with your opponent. At least for me, it comes down to messing with your opponent. Of course, you could vanish, you could throw a beam out, and that's fine. But more situations than none, at least that I've been in, I've caught more people with this grab or with this tech more than I could count.
Well, you got a lot going on there. Those assists all, I think, are kind of like eye catches too, and his grab is a little on the subtle side to me, especially from that range. No one's really thinking about a grab at full screen like that. The other thing is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't get super scared of Cell at full screen. I'm much more worried about him up close when I'm getting perfect attacks and rolling crushes let go on my head. So right. Full screen, my guard's down a little bit against a Cell player. So having a tech that covers that sort of gap in the field and gives him a full screen option that's pretty tricky, I think that's pretty smart. I respect it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Because he suffers from full screen. His beam has some pretty bad recovery. He doesn't have a key blast that even hits you full screen.
Right.
That does what? That's super reactable.
Right.
I don't really have anything threatening to you full screen unless you're on the floor, I guess. His aerial beam, you jump it, you could just super dash at it, and it's more times than none, I can't do anything to you full screen, so I might as well try to make some type of threat to you full screen.
So now we're gonna go to Cell's happy place right here. So what is your top mix-up or pressure tip that you think is not used enough? What do you do when you can't open someone up and you just want to lay it on them? What's your go-to?
Well, one thing I definitely worked on in this game was my stagger pressure. I kind of figured out the higher level I got in this game, almost the less mashing or the less predictable I feel like some players became. They became a bit more random and they'll take more risk. And I feel like staggering is one of those things that take a risk. I feel like staggers go hand in hand with mix-ups, for the mere fact that, let's say if I go at you and jab, You know, now you're worried now about me doing Dragon Rush. You know, if I go at you in jab and then delay into 2L, if you try to Dragon Rush, I'm more than likely gonna hit you. If I jabbed and then delayed into 5M, you know, you're thinking about all these other things. I feel like mix-ups are essential to Dragon Ball, but I don't think it's everything in Dragon Ball. I feel like people get stuck on, oh, you gotta have a lockdown assist. Oh, you need to have a low hitting 2L, this, that, and the third. Mind you, we had Super Saiyan Goku in season 2 catching people with one low hitting move more times than none.
Yep.
You know, people are very quick to forget that. And now we have Trunks, who does not have a low hitting 2L, that catches people more times than none. You know, Yamcha, more times than none. No low hitting 2L, but they still get the job done. But when it comes to Cell, since he has such a wide range of buttons, great range, I feel like one of the better moves he has in a mix is EX Perfect Attack. EX Perfect Attack it's a great way to put your opponent in a situation where they might want to risk and punish you, or they're just gonna sit back and take a mix. All right, let's see. Oh, sorry.
My bad.
You know, I could do empty jump low. You know, or I could go empty. I could go instant air dash light. You know, I could just drop down and put you in a 50-50 situation. Something simple, not like with Kid Buu. Something just to always keep like your mind going. So if I do this to you, you don't know what I'm gonna try to do next.
I'm legitimately trying to block those, and that one opened me up. So there you go.
He's definitely been explored ever since season 1, and going into season 2, he's definitely been explored. But I feel like people forgot very quickly on how good his pressure actually was.
That's an interesting point you bring up. So, like, talking about right now, you're definitely like a Cell specialist. He's not a super common pick. Like, you know, we see him at high levels sometimes. Is it Fenritti who runs him?
Yeah, Lord Fenritti.
So Fenritti runs him still, but like, you know, we're not really seeing much of Cell at the World Tour level. But, you know, obviously that's the now. Whereas like season 1, everyone was Cell yelling every single match. Like, he was everywhere. You couldn't get away from him. So what's it like to like now main a character that people really, really heavily explored for a small period of time and then basically let go of? Like, have you found that there's like more to him that went unexplored? I know like he's been patched, so there's definitely like small changes, but like, what do you think? Do you think like he got let go too early?
Yeah, I definitely think he got let go too early. In Dragon Ball, what I've kind of noticed is with every balance patch, there's a trend. So in season 1, you know how we had the Android 16s, the Bardoks, the Vegetas, the Cell players, and once they got nerfed, I'm gonna say most of them got nerfed because Bardock was like unnerfable.
Right.
Once they got nerfed, everybody hopped on the Bardock Go Tanks bandwagon because of Sonic Fox, and you know Bardock was with Goichi, this, that, and the third. So I was like, you know, like that's cool. You know, everybody's gonna try to hop to like the best like players, the best characters that they feel the best players are playing. Basically gives them the best chance to win. And I don't judge people like based on that. Like, I'm like, you know, if you're gonna do that to win, that's fine. But in a game like Dragon Ball, in those time periods, it was definitely, you're gonna try to find or copy what the top player is doing. So like with Goichi, he was using Bardock. Same thing with Fenritti. So, and people saw the results when they were using Bardock. Same thing with Sonic Fox. They saw, yo, if you're using Bardock, you have a very, very good chance of winning because he's simple and he gets the job done. And then like going into season 2, if you were a big body, you wasn't being played because you could get fuzzied. That was a trend. I stuck with Cell. So when I was playing in season 2, it was like 2.5 characters versus 3. Because I have to block unforeseeable mix-up.
Right.
You know, like I literally have to guess. Like I have no other option. And everybody would pick characters that could fuzzy. Teen Gohan, Bardock, Adult Gohan, Kid Buu, so on and so forth. So people hopped on that bandwagon. And going into season 3, I feel like this is the most diverse that the game has ever been, because now you could exploit character strengths behind system mechanics, holding the game back. You know, so like Piccolo Snap. Piccolo's Hellzone Grenade was so good because Snap was so broken. You know, you take Snap away, Piccolo's Hellzone Grenade is not that scary anymore. Like with Kid Buu Boo Ball. Off a snap meta, that mix was terrifying. Now that I can delay Snap, it's not as scary anymore. You know, it's things like that that open my eyes to the game a lot more, being much more diverse, but also seeing back then that everybody kind of just like copied everybody else's style. Nobody was trying to explore. Everybody was like, I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna do what this person did to win, and I'm gonna hope it works. Versus now, you're discovering your own tech. You're trying to figure out your own style and figuring out what's working for you mostly.
So if Cell's got someone in the corner, what do you think is like the secret tech for Cell in the corner? Is there like something he can do that's like an extension people might not know about, or like maybe like the way one of his special moves behaves that's like unique and interesting that people might not know about? What do you got? Anything interesting in the corner for Cell?
There is one stylish combo I tend to do like when I'm feeling myself a little bit. I do know his highest damage in the corner off of 2M. If you want to get fancy, throw an assist. If you have a C assist, you can actually get a key charge in there too. Yeah, there's a few things that a lot of Cells don't do. I don't even see a lot of Cell players using C assist with them. I'm sorry. You know what? I'll break it down just a little bit further. So it'll end with something like that. So that combo deletes about 70%. Depending on where I want to stop the DHC at, it will stop at around 70%. Off of 2M. So I kind of train myself to put myself in 2-touch situations. That's something that people don't train with. I feel like they don't. But yeah, if you could figure out a 2-touch situation, like how I try to do with Cell, then, you know, you could do some unforeseeable things. You know, I do think like one of the essential things you have to know is to rejump. I do think a rejump is beyond essential for this character. You know, for example, let's like if you're in the corner, you can squeeze out just a little bit more damage now, and you get some meter gain.
Is his rejump this standard? It doesn't look like you're doing the normal like air dash medium into like dash, micro dash, jump, light. What's the connection you're making there?
So with his rejump, as soon as you super dash, let me just tag in Trunks there. So when you super dash, you're gonna air dash medium.
Okay.
You know, you have to delay it. The timing is a little strict. Once you get it, it's kind of like muscle memory. So you get that. And that's the toughest part, is after you land that medium. So you actually do have to micro dash and jump at the same time, if that makes sense.
Right. That's the one that's the same thing Trunks does, right?
Yeah. Just the timing's a little bit weird because Trunks' hitbox is a little funny. But Cell gives you a little bit more leeway because his JM has a pretty big and active hitbox.
Right.
You know, and his JL is super horizontal. So it works much more in Cell's favor versus Trunks.
Nice. All right, how's his Oki? What's your go-to in terms of like you get a sliding knockdown and you want to keep your pressure going? What are you going for Oki?
You know, something pretty simple. You know, I'll get that and then I'll jump forward with JL. then I'll dash and do JH. Sometimes somebody will wake up reflect. Sometimes they'll just wake up and block. If they wake up in reflect, I would say 6 times out of 10, they're probably gonna tag. You know, so it's like, you could block it, you could reflect it. Like, that's fine. Like, I want you to do something like that. Let's say if I don't want you to do anything, then I'm gonna end up doing something like that. So it covers up tech. So if you try to jump out of it, you're not gonna jump.
Let's say you've done that Oki a few times. Is there any that he has that are like over the top crazy that maybe you reserve for someone who you just like are having a hard time with? Is there any like super weird Okis?
I do have one. So it's actually off of level 3.
Ooh, okay, let's do it. Love a good solar command, man.
So at that point, so a lot of people don't realize, but Cell's Rolling Crush switch sides. So if I do this again,
is that just the light one?
No, this is EX.
Gotcha. Aha.
So the fact that I'll jump in with JL just to get the timing right. And it's an overhead, so you can't block low. You have to hold that overhead. It doesn't gel, so if I do EX Rolling Crush, I vanish and you reflect, and cool. Like, you're okay. Like, you could throw Key Blast or whatever, that's fine. Like, I messed up at that point. I've did this a few times to people, and say 8 times out of 10 it worked. One thing that I do, it's actually super simple too. It's super simple, and it's actually meaty.
Okay. Does it empty jump 2L?
Yeah. Empty jump light and empty jump light into 2L. It's meaty. Okay. So you can't wake up, you can't hit a button. You could level 3 because level 3s I think are 1 frame or 0 frame on startup, I think.
Yeah, I think it's frame 1 invincible for most of them.
Yeah. So it's like you could level 3. It's like, but why would you level 3? Like, yeah. That's one of the most risky options out there. Definitely, and even if you TP, it blocks it. Right. I'll end up blocking it.
It looks like a good risk reward ratio for sure. Yeah. I didn't realize that hit meaty. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, the Rolling Crush one is getting me every single time. I'm never gonna block that ever. Switching sides, overhead, it's everything that I don't want it to be. Also, poor Trunks cannot take another solar command, man. He needs a break. Like 3 in a row. Poor guy.
I even get the same mix as before, so the empty jump light into JH. I still get that as well. Same type of concept.
Okay.
So even if I don't throw out the JL, it's still meaty. No matter what, I try to put people in a meaty situation. I don't want you to have any option from when you wake up.
So you did say that some of these are specific to his level 3 knockdown. Is Cell like, he is a battery. He builds a ton of meter. Are you like trying to build into a level 3 situation? Is that part of your game plan?
Somewhat. Another thing that's part of my game plan too, it actually deals with base Jita with Cell. So with base Jita, what I'll do is this. So I'll do something basic, and I'll immediately call Cell's level 1 and look at the knockdown.
Right, you're standing and ready.
Right, I get the sliding knockdown from base Jita's level 1. If I did Cell's level 1 by himself, for example, you're just going up. You can do whatever you want. You can wake up, go away. But with base Jita, nah, you get knocked down as soon as I call Cell's level 1. So I'm like, wait a minute. I get some pretty decent Oki from that.
All right, so let's turn the tables here. So we know Cell is an offensive dynamo. He builds meter like crazy. He's got a lot of tools to combo you into oblivion. What happens when the tables are turned? What can he do on defense? Is there anything he's got, I guess perfect attack kind of functions like a DP, which is a good defensive tool. But is there anything that you think is maybe like underutilized that he can do on defense? You know, maybe like a really good anti-reflect string or a really good like button to mash with, just anything that comes to mind that you're doing if you've been locked down for a while.
Well, first, the perfect attack, it's not a true DP. So it's not going to come out on the same frames as Super Saiyan Vegeta's knee,
right,
or Gohan's uppercut. If you would want something like that, you got to throw out EX, and it's still not a true DP. So he doesn't have a true defensive option. What I like to do if I'm backed into a corner, so let's say you put me in a corner and I reflect, you know, what I'll probably end up doing most of the time, sorry about that, I'll probably end up reflecting an EX. You know, I'll do something like that. You know, if I see that you're staggering more times than none, then I'm just going to reflect, and I'm kind of just going to like wait over here. So, you know, I'll do something like that, and then I'll probably spark, and then I'll try to kill. You know, because at that point, your blue life is like, it's done, because I caught you with an EX move.
right.
Now I spark. Now I really don't want your blue life to come back. But yeah, more times than none, if you're going to stagger, I'm probably just going to reflect and wait. If you're doing more strings, then I'm probably going to EX perfect attack you. But for all players out there, all cell players, if you're new to the game, do not use perfect attack as a DP, because you will get blown up more times than none.
What frame does it start on?
I believe it's frame 3. So let's say you're doing a block string, right? I'm gonna mash light perfect attack, and it's not gonna come out. Like if it's true, it's just not gonna come out. See, it's like right there, it caught a gap. You caught a gap. So at that point, my perfect attack's not coming out because it's not a true DP. If it was Super Saiyan Vegeta, it's fine. Now I'm gonna mash EX perfect attack. See, so you put me in a true string, but my EX perfect attack just wouldn't come out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because it's not zero, it's not frame 1. I think Vegeta is frame 1 or frame 0 on startup. So as soon as there's a gap, Vegeta could break it. With Cell, I can't.
Okay, Brew. So here's the final question. If someone was on the fence about playing Cell, they were interested in picking him up, but they weren't quite sold yet, what are you going to say to them to push them over the fence? Why should someone pick up this character and start playing him in Season 3 of Dragon Ball FighterZ?
You want great buttons, you want great damage, you want amazing synergy, has one of the best assists in the game, and you don't have to look much further. You want sauce, you want TODs, you don't really got to look much further. You want a TOD when you're in the corner, you don't got to look much further. You want a TOD from mid-screen, still don't got to look much further. All I would caution people with is if you're going to use them, just be optimal. When you're optimal with him, you are rewarded heavily. You know, his synergy, it's not hard to do that with a lot of teams. If I want Cell with Gotenks, I get 50-50. If I want Cell with Trunks, I get amazing beam synergy, and I also get amazing synergy with Change the Future. If I want to use Super Brawly, I got a beam, I got a ground pound, or I got an anti-air. That works amazing with him. You know, overall, he's a character that you could say does 0 wrong. He's a character that's been used a lot, so some people kind of know his gimmicks, but at the same time, anybody could get opened up on any given day. And also, he has the perfect jawline. Do you not see the sharpness of that crimson chin?
Dude, I love it. I love that the Cell for Cell is perfection. If you seek perfection, this is your character. That's what I'm taking away from this. Is that fair?
Yeah. Hands down.
Dude, I love it. I love how stoked you are on this character. Thanks for keeping on him and pushing him further, even though the pros dropped him. We're definitely appreciative of that. And thanks for stopping by the channel, man. Anything you want to plug here? Do you have a YouTube channel yourself, a Twitch stream, any side projects you're working on? What you got?
I do stream on Twitch. Work's kind of been, kicking my ass because I have been working this whole quarantine. So I've only been streaming about once a week. But I do stream on Twitch at IAM Killabrew. So like if you want me to spell it out, like IAMKILLEB as in boy, REW, and Twitter at MTS_Brew.
And I'll add those things in the description below for anyone who needs to look them up afterward. All right, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you having me on the show. Take it easy, all right?
For sure.